This is Jupiter Today for the 30th of December 2014. Jupiter Today is a daily podcast focusing attention on the dynamic Jupiter system for the purpose of monitoring activity. At 0 hours UTC, the position of Jupiter on the celestial sphere is a right ascension of 9 hours, 37 minutes, 21.9 seconds, and a declination of positive 15 degrees, 4 minutes, 42.4 seconds. The angular separation from the Sun today is 136.286 degrees, and that's 1.085 degrees greater than it was yesterday. The phase angle, which is the angle between the Sun and Earth as seen from Jupiter, is 7.337 degrees, and that's 0.146 degrees less than it was yesterday. The distance between Earth and Jupiter today is 682,999,572 kilometers, and that's 1,631,782 kilometers closer than it was yesterday. And this gives a relative velocity between Earth and Jupiter of 67,990.92 kilometers per hour, moving towards one another. That's mainly due to the motion of the Earth around the Sun. And that velocity continues to slow down at an ever-increasing rate. The velocity slowed down over the past 24 hours by 1,330.46 kilometers per hour. The central meridian at 0 hours UTC, CM1, 100.62 degrees, CM2, 51.37 degrees, and CM3, 309.59 degrees. Continue to introduce this new graphic into showing the orbital positions over the next 24 hours. This is Jupiter in the center. This is the next 24 hours of Eo's orbit, and Europa, and Ganymede, and Callisto. And this white line points to the Sun, and this blue line points to the Earth. So this is Earth's line of sight, and this is the Sun's line of sight. And at 0 hours UTC, Io begins the day in Quadrant 1, near its eastern elongation. Europa starts the day in Quadrant 2, also heading west. Ganymede starts the day in Quadrant 3, still appearing to head west. And Callisto starts the day behind Jupiter, moving in Quadrant 4, heading east. And from Earth's point of view, looks like this. At 6 hours UTC, Io is now firmly in Quadrant 2, heading west, as is Europa. At 12 hours UTC, Io and Europa are both transiting Jupiter, moving into Quadrant 3, both heading west. Callisto has just come out from behind Jupiter and is now in Quadrant 1, heading east. And on the graphic, you can see that here. This is the 12 hours UTC mark for the 4 satellites. At 18 hours UTC, which are these points, there's Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto. Both Io and Europa are now in Quadrant 3, heading west. And by 1800 hours, Io is still in Quadrant 3, heading west. And by 0 hours UTC tomorrow, Io has passed its western elongation and is now in quadrant 4, heading east. Europa continues in quadrant 3, heading west a little while longer. And again, you can see that. There's 18 hours UTC. Europa's got to go all the way around here before it starts moving into quadrant 4 and heading east again. Yeah, there were 11 Jupiter satellite events. We always get more events like this when the two outer moons of Jupiter, Ganymede and Callisto, start getting closer into Jupiter. At 3:43 UTC, Callisto reappears from the shadow of Jupiter, and at 7:05, Callisto disappears behind Jupiter. At 9:21 UTC, the shadow of Europa ingresses. At 10 hours UTC, the shadow of Io ingresses. At 10:50, Io begins its transit of Jupiter. At 11:05, Europa begins its transit of Jupiter. At 11:53 UTC, Callisto reappears from behind Jupiter. At 12:15, the shadow of Europa egresses. At 12:16, the shadow of Io egresses. At 13:07, the transit of Io ends. And at 13:59 UTC, the transit of Europa ends. So between 10:50 and 12:15, we have Io and Europa, the moons themselves, and their shadows, all on the near side of Jupiter. And from 11:05 to 13:07, Io and Europa are both transiting. There were two satellite mutual events today. The first from 1923 to 1938 UTC, when Europa's shadow eclipses Io. This is a 15.1 minute event with an estimated magnitude flux drop of Io of 0.097 degrees. That's a pretty deep eclipse. And Io is 94.46 arcseconds from Jupiter, and Europa and Io are 15.08 arcseconds apart. The second mutual event today goes from 21:37 to 21:50 UTC, when Europa occults Io. This is a 12.2 minute event with an estimated magnitude flux drop of 0.342. And this is 105.36 arcseconds from Jupiter. A very great event for Europa and Io. It'd be great to get some photometric data on that. And you can see that alignment here, 21:37. This is 18. This is 24. So approximately right here and right here, and you can see that that line is parallel to the blue line. The red spot crosses the meridian of Jupiter twice today, one at 4:15 UTC and the second at 14:11 UTC. And standing on the equator of Jupiter, and looking at what's happening over the next 24 hours. Just a different perspective. There's Ganymede. Here's Callisto, pretty much on the opposite side of the sun from Jupiter, and that's why you see some of the minor moons popping in and out of Jupiter's shadow. Here goes Io and Europa moving in front of the sun and transiting Jupiter's disk. This is about the time when Europa is occulting Io from Earth's point of view. There were some new images posted. Taken on the 27th of December at various times. There's no new radio data, and there were no new papers. So please subscribe. I enjoy hearing your comments. You can send those and your images of Jupiter to the email shown. And until tomorrow, I bid you peace.